This week, we're going to tell the government here in Maryland no to putting a cap on our injury settlements and verdicts. Good morning, everybody. It is your accident and injury guy, Joe with Bowers, coming at you right here in my Elkton office. It's been a couple weeks since I've been here. I had a lot of travel and some weather and a whole bunch of things screwed up my ability to be here on Mondays at 11 a.m. But I am back and we are at it. And here we go. Today, we're talking about something that is timely, that is important, that I need your assistance today. Yes, today. And before 5 p.m. today. There's a piece of legislation in Annapolis. We've talked about before how insurance and the limits on insurance companies and insurance policies sometimes serve as an arbitrary cap or a limit on what we're able to recover, regardless of how hurt we are. But what would surprise you most likely is that there's also a government-imposed cap on what somebody can recover in non-economic damages, meaning not medical bills, not wages, not things that are calculable in a black and white, here's the number, but basically pain and suffering. As of right now, there is a law in the state of Maryland that limits how much money a jury can award you. Now, the jury doesn't know this. The jury is going to give you whatever number they give you. And then when the jury leaves the room, the court is going to adjust that number down to the cap if a jury exceeds that number. Yeah, I know we're all pretty anti-big government here, especially in Cecil County. I don't want to get political about this, but this is important stuff because this means that the government and our legislators in Annapolis are here saying this is how hurt you're allowed to be. There is a piece of legislation that is moving through the House right now. It's House Bill 476. I'm going to throw a screenshot up here with instructions for how you can help get 476, House Bill 476, how you can help get that passed and eliminate that cap. And you might be sitting there looking at this being like, well, I don't need that. Well, great. I'm glad you don't need it. I don't wish it on to anybody, but some people do. And this comes up a lot when it comes to medical malpractice cases and other big catastrophic injuries where people's lives are changed forever. And the court says, this is the limit on your money because there's the portions of a jury verdict are for actual medical costs and damages, wage loss and whatnot. And those go to pay those bills. And then pain and suffering. And ultimately, the pain and suffering is what contributes to what the claimant, what you, the injured person, put in your pocket. Here's how you can help. You don't have to pick up the phone. You can, if you know your local delegate or state senator. And this is state level. Okay, not Congress, not the House of Representatives, but the House of Delegates here, and the state Senate, not the U.S. Senate. So here's what you could do without picking up your phone, without driving to Annapolis. You can, and I would beg of you to think about this and do this today. Here's the rundown. I'm going to put the website for the General Assembly, which is right there on this screenshot. MGA for Maryland General Assembly, LEG for legislation, .maryland.gov. You can go to the My MGA button, top right corner of the website, create an account if you don't already have one. Maybe you've testified for something in Annapolis before and already have the account, but if you don't, go to witness sign up, navigate to these bills. There's a hearing coming up on March 4th. That's this Wednesday for House Bill 476. And this is it. Take this screenshot and use this to get where you need to get. All you have to do is hit the drop down that says favorable and none when it comes to testimony, because that's for people who want to show up either on a Zoom call. And you're more than welcome. If you have been impacted by this, then feel free to actually sign up to testify about this bill. Otherwise, just select none. Because the government, believe it or not, these legislators want to know, sometimes, want to know what their constituents think about legislation. Sometimes they take that into consideration. So I'm going to put this up one more time for everybody. I'm going to copy and paste all of this stuff. I'm going to make sure that it's in the description. The link will be in the description so that I can try to make this as easy as possible for you. But here you go. Go to the Maryland General Assembly website, create or log in to your My MGA account. And while you're there, browse the other legislation. You'll see other stuff that may be of interest to you that has a hearing coming up soon. This is something that you can do, not just for this, but for anything else that's out there, because our legislators, it's too late now because they've already rushed through and passed things with regard to the immigration stuff. But if you had an opinion on that, this is the place to do it. Your voice can be heard without actually having to go to Annapolis. A couple of years ago, this wasn't possible. Now it is. And if there's a specific situation in which you are interested in actually testifying, you can do that. And a lot of this, I think maybe even all of these hearings, they have the ability and regularly allow citizens, not just lobbyists. I know we've thought of these high-paid lobbyists and people that wine and dine folks, and companies pay them millions of dollars to get bills passed or get bills killed. This is grassroots. You, me, all of our neighbors, family, and friends have the ability to chime in on legislation. This is the one that matters most right now as far as injury claims and these caps on non-economic damages for wrongful death cases and any other sort of injury cases like med mal or catastrophic automobile accidents. So your position on this, because this is a piece of legislation that's going to remove that cap on damages, remove the cap that limits what you can recover in an injury claim. Now, most of these claims are not worth what the cap is, but many of them are. And those are the ones that are life-changing the most for the victims who suffered that injury. So, super simple. I was totally going to talk about something different. I'm going to talk about that next week because this is urgent. This is something that we need to talk about now, and it takes you just a few minutes. So I'm going to leave this up one last time, as I say, to be well and be safe out there, and we'll see you next week talking about body shops. Thanks, be well, and we'll see you next week.